Hello, I am Teena, and you are watching Business Today TV. An unexpected natural calamity like the recent floods in Bengaluru or a highway accident can cause irreparable damage to your vehicle. However, by opting for the right motor insurance policy, you can proactively avoid a huge monetary loss. Joining me today is Adarsh Agarwal, Chief Distribution Officer of Go Digit General Insurance, who is going to tell us in detail what is covered and what is not covered under your motor insurance policy when it comes to eventualities like floods and accidents. Welcome, Adarsh. I want to ask you, with news of floods coming in from Bangalore and other parts of the country, does our motor insurance policy cover flood damage?
So thanks, Tina. Thanks for having me on board. So there are two types of insurance policies which are provided to motor insurance. One is comprehensive insurance and one is a standalone third-party insurance. So flood-related claims or water ingression-related claims, those are covered in the comprehensive policy of motor insurance, but it is not covered in the third-party only insurance policy.
Okay, so you are saying it is covered under own damage, but not third-party motor insurance.
That's
So it makes sense to have a comprehensive motor insurance policy. So I come to the next questions. When we talk about motor insurance, what are the exclusions under these circumstances which we should know in advance before claiming?
So specifically, if I talk about the flood-related incidences and flood-related claims, so there is no specific exclusion under the own damage section, which excludes the claims related to flood or watering-related claims. Only aspect is that there is a term called consequential loss. So, for example, let's say you are driving the vehicle through a flooded road, and your vehicle is fine, but through the silencer, there could be some water which is getting into the engine of the car. That is a consequential loss because of water going inside the engine might get damaged. So that is not covered in a traditional motor insurance policy without any add-on cover. However, various companies have come up with a product called a engine protect or engine protection cover, which essentially covers the consequential damage to the engine because of water getting into the engine. So looking at current scenario, it's very much recommended for the policy holders that whenever they are buying a motor insurance policy, they should also check what kind of covers they are taking as add-on covers. And in current situations of rains and other things, the engine protector becomes one of the important cover that policyholders should choose.
Okay, that's a very important point. So, if your car has got stuck, you should not crank up the engine. Better, you should call the mechanic so that your car can get repaired. Very important point. Another point is you spoke about add-on cover. So, in monsoon or during this flood time, when we are seeing the when we are seeing floods across the country, what are some of the add-on covers which can give one's vehicle full coverage?
So there are three, four covers which are important, and I would talk about beyond going to flood as well. So there is a depreciation shield cover or depreciation protection cover. So what happens, because let's say if someone's vehicle is 3 year old and there are some metallic parts and there are some plastic parts. So whenever there is a change or replacement of the part, because the part has been, let's say, 3 or 4 year old age, some depreciation or deduction happens on the claim amount. If the policyholder has taken the depreciation shield or depreciation protect add-on cover, then that amount will also be paid by the insurance company. Next important add-on covers becomes the engine protect cover, which I already spoke about. Another important cover is the consumable cover. So there are a lot of consumable items like oil, rings, washer. Those are normally not paid when the repair happens. These are deducted from the claim amount. But if the policyholder takes the consumable cover, then these amounts or cost of these claims will also be paid by the insurance company. Another important cover is the return to invoice cover. So let's say if someone's vehicle is 2 year old, and let's look at current situation of flooding, where one of my colleague who stays in one society in Bangalore, his underground parking is completely flooded. So yesterday he called me and he told me I can only able to see the antenna of my car. The rest of the car is not visible. So in such a scenario, there is a high possibility that the car might go under a total loss. And if vehicle is a 3 year old, you will get roughly about 70% of the invoice value. But if you have opted for the return to invoice cover, your base policy will pay the 70% amount, which is kind of a depreciated value of the car. plus this add-on cover will pay the balance 30%, so you can go and buy a new car. So I think these 4 5 covers are very much important when you're buying motor insurance.
Okay. Adarsh, I come to another point. We heard this week shocking as well as sad news about the passing of Cyrus Mistry in a car accident. So the incident has brought into the limelight that many people actually don't wear their seatbelts, especially when occupying the rear seat of a vehicle. So my question is, does the insurance company pay claim if the passengers or drivers were not wearing belt at the time of at the time of an accident?
So insurance company cannot repudiate a claim in if even if the person who are sitting on the back seat they are not wearing the seat belt, but it is a contributory negligence on part of the policy holder or the occupants. Second thing is key the airbags. Airbags are the secondary protection in the car. Primary protection is your seat belt. So it's very much recommended that even if people who are sitting on the back seat, of course front seat as well, everyone should wear seat belt. Otherwise, what will happen that the even in case of an accident or a major impact, airbag might not get deployed because you are not wearing the seat belt. So it's very much important that everyone should wear the seat belt.
Okay, so the point is the insurance company will not reject your claim, might not reject your claim, but it is important to wear seat belt as a precautionary measure, definitely.
That's right.
Okay, my another question is, does the driver also get covered under the personal accident policy? How much is the sum insured over there?
So there are two kind of drivers. One is the owner driver, another is the paid driver. So someone is hiring a driver. So if someone is owner driver, they are driving the vehicle or they are sitting in the car as a occupant. If the policy holder has taken a CPA policy, compulsory personal accident policy component of the motor, then there is an insurance of 15 lakh that will be paid to the owner driver in case if the death happens. In case of a paid driver who is employed by the owner, there is a separate PA cover, PA for paid driver that has to be opted for the person to be eligible for the PA section. The third question is there could be friends, family, or relatives who are sitting in the car. They become a third party. So there is another cover in motor which is a optional cover. It is a PA for passengers. If that cover is opted, again then the PA cover is available for the occupants. Otherwise, it is not available. So the owner driver PA cover is compulsory, but the paid driver and the occupant driver PA cover those are optional by the policy holders. However, it is recommended for the comprehensive protection. People should opt for both paid driver as well as the occupant driver PA cover.
Okay. Adarsh, my last question is, does third-party insurance offer protection to passengers sitting inside the car in case of an accident? What does the rule book say about that?
So again, here I would like to split this question in two pieces. One is comprehensive insurance and one is standalone third-party insurance. When it comes to the third-party insurance, both policies work behave differently. So if we look at the comprehensive insurance, if the owner who is the owner of the car, they are sitting in the rear seat or a co-passenger seat or a driving the vehicle, then what happens? This cover is not available. The third party cover won't be available for that particular owner driver because as part of the contract, they are the second party to the contract. They are not the third party to the contract. However, consider if two vehicles meet with an accident and if owner driver is sitting as a passenger in this car, whereas fault is of the another car, then insurance policy of that car will act as a third party cover to the person driver sitting owner sitting in this car. The second aspect becomes for the driver. For driver, in case of the person who is driving the car, again it could be a paid driver or it could be a unpaid driver, your friend or relative driving the car. In case of a paid driver, the third party cover does not apply. It for the same car, it applies from the another car. Another car is involved. The third element becomes the occupant or the passenger. So the passenger will always be part of the third party cover even in the same car. If we move into the standalone third party policy, the only difference becomes from the occupant perspective. So occupants are not considered as third party when it comes to standalone policy of the same vehicle in which they are riding. But again, with respect to the offending vehicle or another vehicle, they becomes as part of the third party.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Adarsh, for telling us in detail about motor insurance, especially what happens when it comes to accidents and floods. And once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks for having me.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share, and subscribe.